now in north suburban Lake County. 46 questionable cases in which parents gave up their parental rights just before their children turned 18 to someone else.
And a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or a friend or a cousin. The parents are lawyers, doctors, teachers. There's one who is a suburban assistant superintendent. So, and their homes are worth, $500,000, $1 million. But after the kid turns 18, because they previously had a guardian, they're able to legally declare themselves financially independent for the purposes of filling out their FAFSA forms for federal financial student aid.
That one court filing allows the student access to thousands of dollars in federal and state grant money they normally would never qualify for, potentially leaving lower income students out in the cold. The admissions director for the University of Illinois went so far as to call this a scam.
Suburban parents are giving up the legal guardianship of their children so that they can qualify for financial aid meant for low-income families. Parents identified in the investigation report transferred legal guardianship of their children to relatives or friends during junior or senior year of high school. The practice allows students to qualify for need-based government and university financial aid by applying as financially independent of their families, and it's technically legal. The practice is another tactic parents are using to gain any advantage they can when it comes to getting into increasingly more competitive and pricey universities. This news follows an FBI investigation back in March that ended with 50 wealthy parents charged for bribing universities and forging documents to get their kids into elite schools. ProPublica Illinois Bureau identified more than 40 cases of parents giving up guardianship to get aid in the suburbs of Chicago as of January of 2018, though the nonprofit group suspects the practice may be happening across the country. The investigation is still ongoing. Andy Boris, director of undergraduate admissions, stated it's a scam. Wealthy families are manipulating the financial aid process to be eligible for financial aid they would not be otherwise eligible for. They are taking away opportunities from families that really need it. The University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign identified 14 applications who obtained financial aid through filing as financially independent. According to the Department of Education data from 2016 through 2017, 80% of federal Pell Grant student aid went to families earning $40,000 a year or less, with the cost of college and levels of student debt already reaching record highs. Poor students attend colleges at much lower rates. Just 32% of students from the bottom 5th percentile of earners go to college, compared to 78% of students coming from the top 5th income distribution. So I just want to get this straight, right? We were able to hear the clip in the first part of the video, and then you heard the article. This was something that I didn't know anything about. I did not even know that there was a such thing such as this, where you have rich families directly out there opting to give their kids away to a friend or a neighbor, coworker, whoever, so that they can also claim them, on top of the fact of them being able to, quote unquote, apply for this financial aid. And it's amazing to me to hear of this taking place when not too long ago, everybody was crying about affirmative action. Wasn't that the thing? Wasn't that the key buzzword that everybody kept crying about? Oh, affirmative action, affirmative action, affirmative action. My kids can't get into, my kids are this, my kids are. So what happened to all those kids now? Because now that talking piece is gone. You can't cry and state online affirmative action. Like I said before, a lot of times I tend to think that a lot of things have to deal with AI and bots. Because it's hilarious how people will decide to state that this one program or situation is drastically stopping their kids from getting into a college. It drastically affects their life, and the reason why it is that they can't get into college as an adult, and why it is that they're working a dead-end job. Like I said, it's a little bit baffling and confusing to me because, again, overwhelmingly, when they dealt with affirmative action, the overwhelming majority of people that were affected by it were both Caucasian women and Asian Americans. And now that affirmative action ceases to exist, here you go. So like I said before, somebody has to be the boogeyman in order to get things done. So you had one community, which, everybody tends to have a problem, gripe, dislike about. They were used as the boogeyman in order to take away something that was actually benefiting everybody else a lot more than said group of people. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. And then on top of that, to hear that you have the rich and the wealthy and the elite deciding to do something so underhanded and sneaky in order to save money. Again, like the woman stated in the first part of the video, a lot of these people, they have $1 million homes. So you mean to tell me that you can't send your kid to a college? You got $1 million home and you can't afford to send your kid to a college? That's interesting. It sounds like you have some money mismanagement going on with a lot of these rich folks. It seems like some pocket watching needs to take place. But will anybody pocket watch the rich? No. Because the moment in time that you do, people will sit up there and say, oh, only broke people sit up there and worry about what it is that rich people are doing. Broke people need to be worried about what broke people are doing. Nah, not so fast there, Charlie. When you have things like this that are inevitably affecting the middle to the poorer classes directly out here, it is everybody's business, especially quote unquote the broke ones. Because if you have money, again, tax dollars goes towards a lot of these programs, right? It doesn't matter if it's a Pell Grant, doesn't matter if it's aid or loan, whatever it is, right? Tax dollars directly at work. So to sit up there and let me know that the rich are double, triple, quadruple dipping when it deals with the economy is beyond me. Because again, I gave you guys a lot of numbers before when it dealt with unemployment fraud. You had a lot of these rich folks going out there and doing the PP loan scam. People who had money were going out there doing this, committing fraud for no reason because they're greedy, because they want more money. Again, pocket watching needs to be done when it deals with the watchers, when it deals with the rich people. I'm just going to be real. Who watches the watchmen, right? If the rich are basically watching us, who are the poor to the middle class, then who is watching the rich? This is why they're able to escape and do so many underhanded things that if a normal everyday person, aka broke, tried to do, they would automatically get locked up, book thrown directly at them, kitchen sink, and you will have to serve 90 to life. But let them sit up there and do it. Oh, it's nothing. If anything, they'll get a little bit of time, and I'm pretty in a federal prison, and I'm pretty sure that they'll really learn their lesson, never to do it again. Right? They'll just do it even smarter. They'll just do it even smarter. Well, like I said before, this is the world that we live in. This is the world that we live in, where the rich are cheap and the rich don't want to pay the money that you and I and everybody else has to pay in order to put our kids in a decent or nice school.